Hi, my name is Gunaydin. I'm the interim director of the Love Consortium. I'm delighted to be speaking with Emily Impett about her contributions to the Love Consortium. To start things off, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Emily Impett. I'm a professor of psychology at the University of Toronto and director of the Relationships and Wellbeing, or RAW Lab. And my research really most broadly focuses on close relationships, especially how everyday processes like responsiveness, sacrifice, and support shape people's well-being across different kind of relationship contexts and different relationship transitions.
Let's focus on a specific data set on TLC Dataverse that you'd like to highlight.
Sure. So one data set I'm especially excited about is our longitudinal dyadic study of couples going through partnered relocations, essentially when one partner moves primarily for the other person's job or school. And we know that relocation is this major life transition that often requires a pretty significant sacrifice, which could be experienced differently by each partner. We know that relocation is something that unfolds over time. We followed both members of couples starting 2 months before they made the move, and then surveyed them every 2 weeks during the first 3 months. And then we had additional follow-ups at 3, 6, 9, and 12 months after the relocation. As we collected data from both partners at every wave, we can really look at how people's experiences both kind of diverge or converge over time. And one of the things that I like about this data set is that we've measured a lot of things. So things like sacrifice, well-being, psychological needs and need fulfillment, people's stressors and emotional rewards, and even questions about emotional forecasting. So what people kind of expected that the move would cost them or give them versus what they actually experienced.
In your opinion, what makes this data set stand out?
Really designed the data set to kind of go beyond the needs of any one paper. And so our data includes far more measures than we initially required to test our questions, which really, I think, make it ideal for collaboration. We're really interested in kind of what makes sacrifices feel meaningful versus costly. I'm really interested in how people's kind of initial motivations for making the move in the first place impact their trajectories of well-being over time. And also what kinds of support partners can provide each other that buffer against some of the potential long-term emotional and relational costs of making a move. But kind of on the flip side, we also think that these major life sacrifices, like relocation, kind of provide couples with a lot of new opportunities. So opportunities to expand their perspectives, their resources, to expand their social circles, and even their sense of self.
You tell us about a Dataverse collaboration that led to a publication?
One of my favorite collaborations kind of started in a very TLC way. So it started with an email. Alexander Baxter, who was a PhD student working with Karen Bales at UC Davis, he reached out to me to introduce himself, and he kind of casually mentioned that he was running speed dating studies with TT monkeys. Initial email led to a collaboration. Sander brought his expertise in first impressions and social relations modeling. And then together with some others from TLC, we worked on a project showing how initial impressions of compatibility and mate value kind of predict later romantic interest. And that work was eventually published in PNAS. Another collaboration that also grew out of TLC with my collaborator, Matthew Johnson at the University of Alberta. That project also ended up being published in PNAS in the same year, and it kind of challenged this kind of happy wife, happy life idea by showing that both partner satisfaction predicted their outcomes in the future. Something that TLC kind of uniquely enables, which is just really this culture and values of openness, being intellectually curious about ideas, and being ambitious with methods. And so I think sometimes these collaborations, they start with a cold email or an unconventional idea, and then many of them evolve into projects that both advance theory, but I think also resonate with real people in ways that hopefully allow us to expand our findings beyond academia.